Welcome back to Pro Life Without Borders with Sarah and Michaela. It's a day.
Yeah, it's
So we were talking about topics for this week, and the one that needs to be talked about, has to be talked about, is the Charlie Kirk shooting. And I feel really dumb because I heard a gasp across the office yesterday, and it was in reaction to someone saying Charlie Kirk's been shot in our Slack channel. And my first thought was, who is Charlie Kirk? And I will admit that as a mom of 6 kids and working full time, if the person is not a pro-life specific activist, now obviously he was very pro-life, like I'm not
yeah,
trying to say he wasn't, but I tend to not know who they are. Now that being said, as soon as I looked him up, I knew who he was.
yeah,
Because I've seen videos, I knew Turning Point USA, I just didn't recognize his name.
yeah.
So super upsetting for a lot of reasons. Sorry, I just like smacked the microphone.
I'm
Totally.
sorry.
And I realized we normally have some like pre-episode chatter, but today
No,
it's just a bad day.
it's not a great day. So this is being filmed like full transparency. This is being filmed the day after
Right.
that this has happened.
So by the time it's released, things may have changed.
Yeah, so we like but as things currently are, we have no idea who did it. The FBI has arrested 2 people and then let them go because it's not them, which is bizarre to me, but they're doing their best, I'm
Right.
assuming.
And they did release an image or a photo saying that they're
Ye
looking for someone, but I
yeah,
don't think they found
it's
him
a
yet.
person of interest, but
Yeah.
it's so just to give listeners context, that's where we're at. So this is still like a developing story.
But they did find what they believe to be the weapon, and there
yeah.
are trans and anti-fascist propaganda on the bullets.
Yeah, so I was actually just reading about a little bit, and apparently now there's a video of this whole thing.
Yeah.
I have not watched
Don't
it
watch it.
because I think it is awful that we would circulate such a thing.
So one of our staff saw it accidentally and literally told the rest of us, like, do not look at it. And someone already, a lot of people have actually reached out and asked it to be asked for people to take it down
Yeah.
because that's going to be out there forever. His kids are going to see it. His kids were there, I heard.
Ugh.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard that his kids were there. If not his kids, other kids were there.
This is a college campus.
Yeah,
Like
it's just terrible. The whole thing is terrible. This guy was a dad, like a loving dad, a loving husband, and he was not even if he was, would this be okay? But he was just bringing about like public discourse.
yeah.
Like,
So
and yeah, he could be a little bit like belligerent, but he was not like, people are like, oh, he was spewing rhetoric, he was spewing.
that's the thing. This was not he is not a politician. Not
No.
that we should go and shoot politicians either, because like we had a political assassination earlier this year with that it was in Minnesota. That woman
Yeah.
got shot in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So like this is not the first.
Well, and we had an
the
attempt
point is,
during the election with Trump here
sure, but
in
the
our
point,
backyard.
he's not even a political, like he's not
No.
a politician.
Well, and it's not, the whole thing is awful. Like the fact that somebody did this, but like to me, the worst thing is the reaction of the average person.
Right. So there was a connection when I was talking about the video, and that was, you said, that there's like trans activism and whatnot associated with the weapon. My understanding is that right before he got shot, like he was preparing to answer a question about shootings of transgender people
Okay.
when he got shot.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, like it was very planned.
Well, yeah, like that seemed sketchy to me. But again, the FBI, like it's still an ongoing thing.
Right.
I don't want to like perpetuate conspiracies, but the entire thing is awful.
Mhm.
Don't watch the video.
No.
If you see the video, report the video and don't watch it because it's sad.
Nobody's final moments should be on the internet like that.
No. And it's sad.
That's not how his family should have to remember him.
Yeah. Like it's just awful. So don't be those people. But yeah, the whole thing is sad, and ultimately, like this was not a political figure. Again, not correct to shoot political figures we don't agree with.
We should like shoot anyone.
Yeah, I was like, it doesn't matter who it was. This was wrong. But also, he genuinely was just out for public discourse.
Yeah.
And if you don't like the fact that he was out for public discourse, you do not get to come and talk about 1984. You don't get to come and talk about censorship and book bannings and all of this stuff that I hear people talk about on the internet these days. if you have an issue with public discourse.
Right. So the thing about free speech is that doesn't just apply to the speech that you like
No.
or the speech that you agree with. It applies to all speech. And one of the things that he was really, really good at, even though I admitted I didn't know his name, I had seen his videos, is talking to people about tough issues in a very non-inflammatory way.
Yeah. Like,
So, like, one of the things I thought was really cool about him in the few videos that I watched, like I said, I'm not a Charlie Kirk specialist or anything. It's not like I was this big super fan. But he was able to dial into the person he was talking to no matter what was going on around him,
yeah.
which is actually really hard. Because like you're surrounded by a crowd, you're like, I mean, I'm not even ADD, and I'm like in a crowd, it's really hard to focus on the person that you're talking to.
Right.
But he was able to really like dial in and talk to the person he was talking to, and that's a really special gift. And he used his gift to talk about the things that he believed in mattered: gun rights, like right to life, his faith, all of those sorts of things. And there's a very large percentage of our nation that doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And those individuals are happy, and I feel horrified even saying this, happy that he's been killed.
Oh, there's people like news anchors have gone on air saying that he deserved it, that it was only a matter of time. Thankfully, these news anchors have been fired. So at least even the left is realizing that perhaps they've gone a little too far.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just sick the way that people have responded. And it's not even the people who are outright like, "Oh, well, he deserved it." Because those people are obviously disturbed and wrong as well.
Mm,
But like there's even subtle he deserved it. Perhaps those aren't the words that they're using.
yeah.
But like there's a lot of subtle and I saw
Well,
a
what did he
post.
expect?
What did he expect? And I saw a post this morning. I actually unfriended the person
Good for you.
on Facebook because I was just like, I've had enough. One, it used a ton of like big flowery language.
Mhm.
And as someone who has multiple degrees in flowery language, like I just don't appreciate it. It doesn't make you sound smart. We'll just put it that way. And in this flowery language, like what I could piece out,
You're like, I have a degree in words and I don't know what you're saying.
he's working on a doctorate in rhetoric and can't understand your post. That the issue is not with me. We'll just put it that way. But it was very subtly being like, of course this happened. Like this is what he argued for. So
Yep.
he died exactly the way he wanted other people to die. And that's not the words that they used, but that was the point that they were trying to make.
Mm.
And one, that's just outright not true. So there's that. Two, someone is dead. Like this was a father. He
Yeah,
has
somebody
two
was
little
very
girls.
violently killed in a very public setting. Somebody who was a father and a husband.
Like those girls are tiny. His wife is young. He himself is only 31. Like,
Yeah.
we're basically the same age. Like, it doesn't matter if you liked what he had to say about gun laws or didn't. Like, it actually doesn't matter. Your opinion in this whole situation does not actually matter.
Well, and the thing is, if somebody is killed in a violent fashion, this is not the time to complain about what their views were in life, regardless of who they are, whether they're pro-life, pro-choice, left, right, center, libertarian, green, whoever. Like, why are we all of a sudden jumping on this? Well, let's talk about how much we hated his political views. Like, just shut up for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So one friend of mine texted me this morning and said that she was in a team meeting and someone said, "Oh, Charlie Kirk got shot. Oops, am I smiling?"
Ew.
And it was like my friend was just totally like floored. Like, are you kidding?
Like,
I mean, it's not okay.
and it doesn't even matter what he believed. Like, that's the thing, is that it's not like, oh, well, like, he believed differently. I would hope that we would be just as horrified if it was a trans activist that got shot on stage. Or a pro-choice person. Like I would
Right.
hope that we would be equally as horrified if the anybody.
Well, I think we did a podcast, or maybe we just talked about it, but I think we did a podcast when that CEO of the health insurance
did.
company was shot, and we're like, "This is horrible. You can't go around shooting people."
But again, like people
Like, it doesn't matter who it is. You're not allowed to go around shooting people.
people glorified that as well.
And
not
they
only
still are.
glorified
They
that-
still glorify the shooter.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's like a hero.
He's a hero. He's raised over $1 million in legal fees on GoFundMe. Like we have made like a literal assassin famous.
Right, and what's gonna happen when they catch this guy? Is he gonna get the same treatment?
I
Like, are women
certainly
gonna
hope
be
not.
throwing themselves at him? Are people gonna be donating to his GoFundMe? And what does that do for other pro-life conservative activists who are planning and speaking in public? Are we all gonna become targets because somebody else wants to be the next famous person?
Right, and
Speaking as someone who is a, like, very, like, not well known, but also, like, I do get up on stage sometimes,
well,
and I would rather not be shot
I
at.
was telling my friends, I was like, "Guys, like, I know that we kind of laugh and joke around about a bunch of different stuff and trainings and whatnot, but, like, we legitimately are going to have to sit down and revisit things because
Yep,
of
we're
this."
gonna have to redo our active shooter drill training, and we're gonna have to redo all of our, like, aggressive kind of training because we don't know if we're gonna be a target.
No, and literally, like, what, like, 10 days from now, we're gonna be in Harrisburg at a political event.
Yep, where I'm on stage.
Yeah, and last year, we were at the same political event, and I very distinctly remember, like, leaning down and talking to one of your kids
Mhm.
and being like, "If something scary happens, just hit the floor."
Right? And they're like, "What's"
Like,
and
"What's
what do you mean
scary?
scary? And we're like, "Just
Just think
anything,
about it.
just anything."
Just lay down."
Yeah, and I mean, there was a moment where I was like, "Am I doing the wrong thing by taking them up on stage?" And I did, and they enjoyed it just like I knew they would,
And we were
and
all
it
fine,
was fine.
and
But, like, nobody should feel that way. Like, nobody should feel like I'm at a peaceful political rally, and this wasn't even a political rally.
no, like, this is literally just, like,
Yeah,
the most chill event.
but, like, I'm at an event, and I should be frightened to have my kid on stage because there could be a crazy person out there.
But again, like, this wasn't, like, some big event at, at this college, like,
Right,
this university, like, this was not some major, like, gigantic, controversial.
right. And so the thing is, it's awful that it happened. It's awful no matter who it happens to, but to me okay, so let me back up. So there will always be crazy violent people in the world
Yeah,
until Christ comes back. And sometimes those violent people will act out and innocent people will be harmed. And then what should happen immediately after is society should band together and say, this was wrong. This should never happen based on like our common understanding of like murder being bad. But this is what's actually happening. So I actually screenshot something. One of the very few political people I follow is Brad Palumbo. He's not a Christian, as far as I know. He's homosexual. He's very open about that, but he's very conservative. And so I really appreciate his voice because he shares a very unique perspective.
yeah,
And so this is what he shared. He said two things can be true at the same time. One, basically every mainstream Democratic official has completely and unequivocally condemned the murder of Charlie Kirk. That's important. And claiming the Democratic Party broadly supports this kind of thing isn't true. And we can acknowledge that.
yeah.
The Democratic Party is not out there saying, yes, let's like get rid of all the political commentators. They're not.
No, even, like, our own governor of Pennsylvania has made some very honoring and heartwarming statements about the
Right.
situation, and we have a Democratic governor that
Yeah.
you and I don't approve of.
Well, we don't agree with him,
Oh,
but
yeah,
we can at least say, hey, thank you for speaking out and saying the right thing.
yeah.
And we do appreciate that, Mr. Spear. I know you're a faithful podcast listener. I want you to know that
Well,
we
I just we've
appreciate
been,
that.
like, openly critiqued
Yes.
the
So
governor
now,
on our podcast,
yeah.
and
So let's say it. He did a good thing.
yeah, yeah, so I we can agree with this,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Number two, all over social media, particularly TikTok. So let's just say it. TikTok is the cesspool of social media. It's the
Yeah,
New Jersey of social media. Okay. Sorry, New Jersey.
we're not gonna get any donors from New
No,
Jersey.
they're out. That's okay. If you're in New Jersey, I can recommend pregnancy centers to you. They're
So
free.
true,
Yeah.
yeah.
Left-wing people are cheering his death, explaining why they're happy he's dead, and justifying this in the name of resistance.
Mhm.
These videos are getting hundreds of thousands of likes and millions of views. Many posts about his death get flooded with comments supporting it. We have a serious problem with violent political terrorism on the left in this country. It spreads and is fomented online via assassination culture, which is terrifying that we actually have coined the phrase assassination culture, that glorifies assassins like Luigi Mangione. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Polling bears out the fact that this is a widespread sentiment among left of center Americans, not a tiny fringe, which is terrifying. We have to talk about this honestly and treat it with urgency without blaming all Democrats or dismissing the support for Kirk's murder as just a few random crazies on Blue Sky. So yeah, so we have a real problem. And the problem is that is a significant number of people who are at least on social media. And I realize it's easy to be like brave on social media because you're not doing anything in person, but at least on social media are supporting this idea of assassination culture, where if there is someone out there that they don't agree with, right wing, let's be real, right wing people who are talking about faith and freedom and the Constitution and the right to life and the right to bear arms and the right to freedom from government intrusion, that it is a honorable thing to assassinate those people. And that's a problem.
Did none of these people go to kindergarten? Just, like,
Maybe they're all as COVID.
maybe.
How old
Like,
are the babies that should have been in
well,
kindergarten at the same
I
time?
harken
Not
back.
that
So
old.
admittedly, my experience in the public school system is brief. I went to kindergarten for
You're like everything I need to know I learned in kindergarten, which is good because that's the only
it's the only thing I did, and then I continued, like, I was homeschooled from there on out. But I did, like, actually go to school, like a brick and mortar school with classmates for kindergarten. And one of the first things that you learn about kindergarten is that just because someone else does something you don't like doesn't mean that you can hit them. In
That's true.
fact, I feel like most of us had learned that lesson by kindergarten. So
Yes.
I actually revised my question. Did any of these people go to preschool?
Well, and I think the thing is, if the roles were reversed and if the person who had been murdered was left of center, there would be a huge outcry from all the same people who are saying that this was a good thing. And regardless of my political viewpoint or the political viewpoint of the person who's been harmed, it's wrong. Like
Yes.
I can disagree with someone, and maybe this is where we are in society. I can disagree with someone and still get along with them.
But see, and I was talking with my mom about this a couple of weeks ago because there are people who won't do that anymore. And they're very open about that. Like I've been very open about a lot of beliefs. I don't post too publicly about like my specific political like party affiliations.
Right, I don't either.
Like no one cares. Like I'm really not that important. No one on my Facebook is going to be persuaded. Like I just it's whatever. I'm politically involved. I don't need to talk about it on Facebook. Like it's not helpful. That being said, like I do hold beliefs that indicate perhaps which way I lean.
Right.
And I have friends.
Like you're 100% not on Blue Sky.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like left-wing Facebook. Like, yeah,
That
all
doesn't
the
sound like a place I want to hang out.
it's
I don't even like hanging out on like normal Facebook.
it's like the biggest echo chamber, honestly.
Okay.
It's crazy. I've never been on it, but
No,
yeah.
like I just like I have to be on Facebook for work, but if I didn't, I would probably just leave.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Um,
over social media,
yeah, like
honestly.
I'm tired of it. But I have friends who obviously don't believe the same values that I have. I have pro-choice friends. I know, shocker, I have pro-choice friends.
I do
I
too.
have friends who voted differently than me. I have friends who don't believe the same religion that I do. I have a lot of friends. What can I say? I'm a popular lady. But I have friends who will not like the whole like, well, we can agree to disagree, or we might have different opinions, but we can still be friends. I've lost friends this year, close friends, that have said, like, no, like you have different political beliefs than I do, and I refuse to be your friend because
Yep.
of it. Because they think like, well, you support the killing of XYZ, the murder of XYZ, the injustice of XYZ. I can't be your friend
Right.
anymore.
And when that happens, you remove any sane voice that counters your own.
Yeah.
So instead of thinking, oh, I have my political beliefs and you have your political beliefs, and both of us are rational, loving, kind human beings, you've now demonized everyone who disagrees with you and made things like this easier.
Yep.
Because everyone who disagrees with you is now not just wrong, but they are essentially sinful, evil, and they're out to get you and everyone that you care about.
Yep. And so that's where we're at. Like, there's no talk of like, well, like we might agree to disagree, or we can be respectful or civil, like not even friends. All right. Like we can be civil. Nope.
Nope, nothing.
And so it is now like I'm not surprised that it has degraded to the point to where, oh, you disagree with me? I'm just going to shoot you in front of your friends and family on a public stage.
And the reality is that most of the people, the vast majority of the people who are commenting, liking, sharing, laughing online are not actually going to hurt anyone because they just aren't. That's just not who they are. That's not their makeup. It's easy to sit and laugh and joke
Well,
and be
it
nasty.
takes a certain level of courage to walk away from your computer and do something.
Right.
And
But,
and any even if it's the wrong thing,
right,
it takes a level of courage that some people simply don't have.
most people don't have, especially when it comes to something like this.
Yeah.
However, there are people out there who will.
Yeah.
And they're now encouraged by all of this positive social media attention because what's the litmus test for how popular I am, how beautiful I am, how smart I am? It's how much
Likes and
attention I
shares.
get
Yep.
on social media. And so there are people who are deeply disturbed who are looking at all of this affirmation for this guy that killed Charlie Kirk, and they're thinking, I want that for myself. And so who are they going to target? And that's part of why it's so important for society to condemn acts like this that are 100% wrong, because there is something to be said for peer pressure. And I know that we talk about all the time and peer pressure is bad and don't give in to peer pressure, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is that societal pressure keeps people on the straight and narrow.
Well, and peer pressure isn't just like openly and directly telling someone you should do this. You should do
Mhm.
this. Why aren't you doing like it can be subtle.
Right.
And so that's why we need to condemn it and leave it at that. Not condemn it and then be like, but now's a great time to talk about. No,
No, just say it was wrong.
it's a terrible time to talk about whatever. Just say it was wrong and that's that.
And let's take peer pressure, societal pressure, whatever you want to call it, and make it for good. And say, hey, if you go out and do something heinous like this, all of society is going to condemn you. Everyone is going to like say that you were wrong. Everybody is going to say that you did the wrong thing. And then people are going to not be like, oh, I can get famous doing this.
Yeah. And let's stop giving so much attention to people who do stuff like this. Now,
Yes.
again, at the time of recording, we don't know who did this. We have no idea what their motivations were other than to kill somebody.
Right.
That's all we know is that someone with a gun thought it would be a good idea to kill someone else.
Yeah.
That's all we've got. But we need to stop, like what we talked about with the CEO shooting. Like they glorify that, but that man still gets positive attention.
Every time any post of his comes out, and obviously this is not, I'm sure that most people wouldn't do this seriously. People are like, I'll be an alibi. I'll be his alibi. And I'm like, so you're literally willing to be an accessory after the fact for this guy? Like,
People,
seriously?
I legitimately don't understand.
Mm-mm. It doesn't make any sense to me either. Like, he did something like that all cultures, with very few exceptions, would condemn as wrong. Because as soon as you say it's okay to kill other people, everyone's at risk. Nobody is safe. Makes me mad.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just getting riled up. Like
Well, and
I feel it like a burning here.
is your watch about to like
My
suddenly
watch is gonna be like,
your heart rate is high.
yeah.
Your heart rate is high. So this is not going to be a long podcast episode because we didn't joke around, we didn't have the banter. We don't need to.
It's not funny.
It's
Like
not funny.
there's nothing that I can say to make this funny. Not that it needs to, but like honestly, it's just not the time. Like a man is dead. He was young, he was a father, he was a husband. This poor wife, like I can't even imagine.
I don't.
Like I'm not married, but I can't imagine being married, having 2 young kids at my age, and having my husband publicly assassinated, which is already the worst thing that you could possibly imagine.
Mhm.
And then to have to relive it every moment that you open your phone.
Well, and people are also making threats against her and the kids.
Of course they are, because that's the society we live in.
Yeah, so now she's not only has to deal with the grief and trauma of losing her husband, but the fear of potentially becoming a victim herself or watching her children be victimized, which is worse. The children,
And
like
sorry,
for your
but like when
children.
you are the victim of something like this, you control, or you should at least have control over the conversation that begins surrounding it.
Mhm.
And I don't know, her name is Erica. And I don't know Erica, but I can't fathom that she is loving the conversations that are
No.
happening um on the left. We'll just call it a spade a spade. Like I can't fathom that. And I know that people are hijacking this event and turning it into this is why we should have gun laws.
Which Charlie would not have been okay with.
Which one? Like he and well, and that's the thing that people are saying, right? Is they're like he like one of the last things he said was about this and about how people have the right to shoot other people. One, that's not what he said.
It's not what he said.
That's not what he said. So go listen to the whole thing. That's not what he said. Two, gun laws weren't going to change this.
Nope. If
Because
you're
you know
going
what
to
else?
break the law, you know what else is illegal?
Knifing someone on the subway.
Yeah.
That's also what's illegal. But guess what? That's what happened this week too.
That
A
happened this week,
Ukrainian
too.
woman was stabbed to death on the subway. It's not a gun issue.
No. It's a heart issue. And we should not be shocked. Unfortunately, we should not be shocked that in a nation that loves and essentially worships, let's just call it what it is, abortion,
Mhm.
is okay with this because it's the next step.
Yeah.
And so it's not a gun issue, it's not a knife issue, it's not a political issue, it's a heart issue, and we need to return our nation to one that honors the law and honors morality and honors Judeo-Christian values. And one of those values is thou shalt not kill.
Yeah, you shouldn't kill innocent unborn babies in the womb.
Nope.
You shouldn't kill grown men who are just exercising their right to an event that they were invited to.
And you really
BTW.
shouldn't kill Ukrainian women who are on their cell phones and trains either. Like, there's a
No,
whole lot of people. In
there's a
fact,
whole lot
just
of
don't kill
people.
anyone. And the thing is, the best thing we can do to honor him is to spread civil discourse. Like, this is not the time to be afraid to speak out. And I've talked to people since this has happened. Like, again, this only happened yesterday. And I'm like, speak up.
Yeah.
Don't be nasty. Don't be mean. Don't be rude. Don't be inappropriate. But speak up and share the truth, because that's what, if he could talk to us now, that is what he would want us to do. He would not, and this is from the very little that I know of him, he would not say, oh, I wish I hadn't gone to that event. Oh, I wish I hadn't spoken up so much. Oh, I wish I'd gotten a normal job and lived a normal life. No, he wouldn't say that, because none of us would say that. None of us in ministry, none of us in pro-life work, none of us in important work that matters would say, oh, I wish I'd chosen a different path, because we know the risks and we do it anyway.
Well, and that's what you and I were just talking before we filmed about the event that we're going to, and perhaps that'll be next week's episode. I don't know.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We should do that.
So we were just talking about, because we have to, and we're both on senior staff here, so it's our responsibility to keep everyone else safe that's on staff, and we have to think about ourselves. We both have people in our lives who would really prefer that we not get shot at events.
Or anywhere.
Or anywhere. Like, they would just really like us to be safe. But we were talking about it, and like, our response can't be, well, we're not going to go.
Won't go. We just won't speak.
Or we just won't speak. It's like, and I mean, we said it in a somewhat laughing manner, like the response is, oh, well. But like, if that's what happens, that's what happens. Right. Obviously, we're smart, and we keep,
neither of us is really killing it when it comes to situational awareness. Let's be real.
Right, but like, we're not out here like hoping that we get shot to be martyred. Like, we want everyone to be safe. I think we do a pretty good job of keeping staff safe. Like, we do all the things that we need to do. But at the end of the day, we're both convinced that we're speaking truth. We both feel called to speak about what we talk about. And if the consequence of talking to women about the gospel and eternal life, not just life for their unborn children, but life for themselves, is that we end up shot on a stage,
that's what it is.
I think the answer is simply, oh, well. And I think that we can pretty confidently say that that is likely
that he would have said
the same thing.
And God, it's so important to remember in these moments that God is sovereign.
Yeah.
And we don't understand why things happen, and we may wish that they happened differently, but that doesn't mean that he is somehow out of control. He was not taking a nap. He was not unaware. He was not paying attention. Like, for whatever reason, this has been allowed to happen. And I had another friend, because obviously everyone is texting back and forth about this, right?
Yeah,
this is like, I mean, I got more than one text all at the same time of like, did you see? Because everyone is more horrified. I have friends who are like, I can't get out of bed today. I'm just so like grieved for him and his wife. These are people who don't know him.
Yeah, I was just grieved, and I knew of him. I don't listen to him. I'll go on record saying I don't agree with everything that he said.
Right. But we can still be horribly grieved.
But what I learned is that he was pro-life. He was outspokenly pro-life, and he was very outspoken about his faith. And to me, those are the two things that matter. And the differences about opinions on higher education or whatever don't matter if we agree on the humanity of the unborn and faith in Jesus Christ. Yeah. And we did, and even if we didn't, it's still sad.
Yes. And he was our brother in Christ.
Yeah.
And when one member of the body is hurting, all of us feel it.
Yeah.
And so another friend texted me this morning, in the last days, evil will increase, but remember Isaiah 54:17, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And that promise is for those who serve the Lord. I know what it looks like for Charlie and his family. It's painful like the end, but it's not from an eternal perspective. He received and enter into your rest, thou good and faithful servant, welcome. But for us, the earthly work is not done. And it's hard in the aftermath of something like this to want to get up and go to work and do the day-to-day and answer the emails and answer the text messages and do the appointments. But it's so absolutely vital, because our earthly work isn't done. And there is so much work to be done. People need to hear about Jesus. They need to hear about life. They need to hear about freedom. And those are all things that are part of our calling as Christians, as Americans, as American believers. And obviously, some of those things aren't, necessarily applicable to every Christian in every country and every time, but that's where we are today.
Yeah.
And so it's important that we continue the work that God has called us to, even when we're struggling, hearing, you know, recovering from this news.
Yeah. It's just sad. And I mean, like you said, we didn't know him, but we were both at an event with Turning Point USA
Mhm.
last year.
I
Like
I have
I
one of their
hung out with those
buttons.
guys all night.
Yeah, I have their buttons on my backpack.
Yeah.
Like, I've definitely watched like, I tend to only watch, like, the pro-life related videos, but I've
Right.
always enjoyed his comments on pro-life. We lost a real soldier, and he was young, he had a lot more impact to give, but again, God is sovereign.
But
Um,
he had a huge impact for someone who was, I'm gonna say, only 30. I think he's
just a
31.
baby.
He's just a baby, and as someone who's also only 30, we're young and we're spry,
Yeah. So,
and it's a huge loss.
yeah, so continue having the conversations, continue in the work that God has for you, pray for his family, and pray for the ministry of Turning Point too, because this is a huge blow to them. As hard as it is for us that are, like, several degrees removed, I can't even imagine what the staff at Turning Point, in addition to his family and people who knew him personally, are going through, because it's absolutely devastating.
Yeah. So I'll make sure to link to Turning Point USA and some resources that
Yeah.
people can read more about the work that he did, and because it was really cool work.
Yep.
And it was specifically about engaging younger generations,
Yeah.
which is so important in
Mhm.
today's world.
And make a
And
donation. Make a donation in his honor to his organization. He
yeah,
would love that.
yeah, yeah. Don't Today's not the day. Well, donate to Promise of Life Network
You
if
can
you want
donate
to.
to
Like
something.
we're not gonna say don't donate to us, but um, yeah.
Yeah, donate to Turning Point, pray for his family and his staff and his team and his friends, and let's keep having conversations. In fact, more of us should do that.
I I firmly believe that we as a country are capable of having civil public discourse, and it's just not showing this week.
No.
But I firmly believe that we are capable. There's a tiny glimmer of hope somewhere.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. And hopefully have a little bit lighter, more of a lighthearted topic.
Bye.